welcome to Lulu's Cafe. Today we have a delicious recipe for you. They're Enchiladas Suizas, which are Swiss enchiladas. It's a really good recipe. You're gonna love it. We're gonna go ahead and go through all the ingredients. First of all, we need 2 chicken breasts. We've got some Mexican cheese here, which is pre-shredded cheese. It's got a little bit of cheddar, a little bit of Monterrey in it. I buy the pre-shredded just because I don't want to spend all the time in having to do that. So that's really easy to do. We've also got some jalapeno peppers. The difference between serrano and jalapeno is that the jalapeno is not going to be as spicy and it's got more flesh. And remember, this is what's going to give us the color to our enchiladas suizas. We've got half an onion, 2 garlic cloves, a couple, maybe 3 or 4 of these pepper cloves also. And then we've got a chicken bouillon that we're gonna use. Over here on this side, we've got some tortillas. Of course, these are already pre-made tortillas. I buy the yellow corn tortillas because they seem to be a little bit sturdier. So when we go ahead and prepare this enchiladas suizas, they don't tend to tear up as much. A little bit stronger and firmer for this recipe. So make sure that you buy the yellow corn tortillas, which is really important. And then we've got our salt and pepper over here that we're gonna go ahead and use. And here's our secret recipe, our secret ingredients for this recipe, which is the cream of mushroom and cream of chicken soup. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute, this is Mexican. All my recipes have a little bit of Mexican, Texan, and even Puerto Rican influence. So it's kind of like infusion of a lot of different things. So you're gonna see that these recipes are really delicious and they come together really good. So yes, we've got some, I'm actually using the Campbell's cream of mushroom and cream of chicken. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're gonna do is first, we're gonna go ahead and put our chicken into a pot to boil. Let me show you my secret to boiling chicken. You're probably thinking, just, boil the chicken. I go a little bit over and beyond that because I want my chicken to have a tasty flavor. I don't like it to, my mom says that it tastes like feathers if we just boil a chicken. I don't want that. I've never tasted feathers. I'm not sure if you have, but I want to season it to where it has such a good taste to it. So when we're biting into our enchilada, that chicken's gonna have a really good taste to it also. So let's go ahead and put our chicken and boil it, and we're gonna go ahead and put our stove to an 8, and we'll go ahead and put these in there. Once it's nice and hot, we've already been boiling this water, so it shouldn't take long to do. And here's how we're gonna season our chicken once it's boiling. We're gonna go ahead and add the 2 cloves of garlic. We're gonna add some peppercorns. Sprinkle those in. And then this is the secret recipe. We're gonna go ahead, I know we've already got chicken and it's probably already gonna taste like chicken, but this actually gives it a nice flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and add one of these bouillons in here. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and let that cook for a little bit. As soon as this is done, we're gonna go ahead and come back and shred the chicken, and we'll get started on the rest of the recipe. Okay, once our chicken is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and start on the sauce. I've got a small pot here with water. I'll go ahead and put it at a 7.5 on my electric stove, so it's at a 7.5. I'm gonna go ahead and put maybe a 1.5 cups of water, get that to boil, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my jalapenos. Now, the jalapenos are totally up to you. If you want them really spicy, you might add 4 of these. If you wanted to just maybe have a little tangy flavor and not be as spicy as something that you might not tolerate, let's go ahead and just do 3 on here. I love extra spicy, so I'll go ahead and add 4. We'll go ahead and let that boil. Once it's nice and cooked, we'll come back and we're gonna go ahead and blend it with our ingredients, and we'll get this going and we'll come right back. Okay, well, we've got our jalapenos that are almost done cooking. Actually, they've already cooked all the way. They've changed color. They're from dark green to a lighter green, so you know that that's how they show that they're completely fully cooked. We'll go ahead and remove these from the pan and turn off our stove. It's really easy to remove the stems and devein them. All we want is just to kind of cut through here, cut through the stem, cut these maybe lengthwise, and let them cool down a little bit because they're probably really, really hot right now. Okay, so let's remove these stems. They smell really spicy, so we know that that's going to be a really hot dish. You still have time to not put them all in. If you decide, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and just do the 3 because they do smell really, really hot and spicy. So we'll go ahead and cut these lengthwise. And then a really good idea is to maybe use a fork to hold these just so that your hands don't get all spiced up with all the chile and all of that. Go ahead and take these seeds out. The reason we remove these seeds is just so that they won't be as spicy. Go ahead and take all of these out. It's really easy, basically just removing the veins and all the seeds. Okay, so we'll do that for all of them. And since our chicken over there is almost done cooking, I went ahead and removed some of the chicken stock that we're going to use. We don't want to use this hot water that we cook the jalapenos because it will just be too spicy. It's already infused with all the peppers in there, so we're going to try to stay away from that hot water that they boiled in. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, see how easy that is? I'm almost done. Just one more. Make sure all those seeds are out of there because that's what gives us our hotness. Okay, take all those out. And as you can see over here, our chicken is probably already cooked. And if you look at that stock with all those ingredients that I added, it looks delicious. And so I went ahead and just removed a little bit of the stock and went ahead and let it cool down a little bit because we're going to use this stock for our sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and add the stock into our blender. Again, we don't want to use the water from the jalapenos. We're going to use a little bit of the stock, and I think I probably removed about a cup, if not a cup and a half, of the chicken stock. We're going ahead and adding the jalapenos. There we go. And once all of these are in there, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and blend these. Okay, put that top back on there. And just blend until everything's nice and mixed. Okay, that's good enough. It's nice and mixed. We'll go ahead and take out this hot pan right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring out a little bigger size pan to go ahead and cook this sauce for our Enchiladas Suizas. It's not a complicated dish at all. It does have a couple of steps, but you're going to enjoy the outcome of everything coming together. So again, this is what's going to make our sauce green and give it that spicy flavor. Let me go ahead and just do a little bit more of the blending. We'll go ahead and turn our pot to about a 7. I'm not on my electric stove, that's a 7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 soups that I introduced to you earlier, which is the cream of chicken soup and the cream of mushroom. We'll go ahead and add that to our pot. And this should go in there as it starts warming up. Make sure we got it all in there. It's so tasty. And then we've got our cream of mushroom. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add that. And I'm going to go ahead and put all the ingredients at the end of the video in case you missed something. Okay, so that's about it for like this. We'll go ahead and mix this together. And as if you can see right there, we've got both the chicken and the cream of mushroom all mixed together. We'll let that warm up. As soon as it starts bubbling, we'll go ahead and start adding our jalapeno sauce into this. Now, what I usually do is that I take my time adding it in there and tasting it. I don't want to add the entire cup and a half in here if it's too spicy. So maybe add half, taste it, and if you feel like you can still do a little bit more of the hotness in there, go ahead and add more. But yeah, taste it little by little, make sure that it's perfect to what you like, and we'll go ahead and let this start to boil. As soon as it starts to bubble, we'll go ahead and add our ingredients. So we'll be right back. Okay, well, we've got our sauce here, which is a mixture of our cream of mushroom and cream of chicken soup. It's already started to bubble, as you can see. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and start adding in portions our jalapenos. Remember, we have the jalapenos in there with a little bit of the chicken stock. Gone ahead and blended it, so I'm gonna go ahead and add maybe a fourth of the sauce. Blend this together. And if you can see this, you'll notice that it's already starting to turn green. So this is our sauce for our recipe, for our Enchiladas Suizas. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, why are these enchiladas called Suizas? Swiss enchiladas. Well, there's two different versions of how this recipe came about. In the 1800s, when Maximilian was in reign in Mexico, they said he brought over all of the European recipes and kind of combined them with the Mexican recipes, and they had that infusion. And so that's why they call it Swiss enchiladas, because of the European and Mexican influences. Other people say that it's called Enchiladas Suizas because of all the creamy peaks and all the cheese that looks like almost like different Alps. And so that is why they're called Swiss enchiladas. Just a little bit of the history of this recipe. As you can see, they're green. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is taste it, just for hotness, for flavor. I think I could do a little bit more. We'll go ahead and add maybe most of the sauce that's left, and mix it again. And look, again, it's giving us that green color, which is delicious. Now, this is so good that you can even have it with chips. You can even have this alone and not have the enchilada. It's that tasty. This sauce is actually so good by itself. But we'll go ahead and try it again, just to make sure that it's spicy enough, or that it's not too spicy, that it's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and add it all. I'm gonna be brave. Here we go. We'll go ahead and continue to blend these flavors together. It looks so good and tastes delicious. Again, this could be eaten as a soup just with chips, and it tastes so good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the stove. Just let it blend there together. We don't want it to get too hot, because we're gonna go ahead and put these enchiladas in the oven, so we'll be able to warm those up again. But our soup has completely turned into a green color, which is very, very reflective of the recipe, which is Enchiladas Suizas. Some even call it Enchiladas Verdes, and that's why verde is for, the green color. Okay, so this is ready to go. We'll go ahead and shred the chicken, and we'll come right back and finish up this amazing recipe. Okay, well, we're almost ready to finish our enchilada, but before we do, I've already gone ahead and shredded all the chicken. This chicken actually tastes really, really good, because if you remember, we cooked it with all kinds of spices and flavors. So once you bite into that enchilada, you're not only gonna have the great taste of the sauce, but the chicken tastes delicious itself. But we're not gonna go ahead and just put the chicken like this inside the enchilada, because I want it to be juicy and still have a really, really good flavor, not just a boiled chicken. So what we're gonna do is I put about 2 tablespoons of oil in this pot right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the onion, the half an onion that we talked about earlier. Go ahead and add that to it, and we'll go ahead and simmer the onion and let it get crystallized, transparent here. Okay, and so we'll let that cook up. Once it's nice and transparent and golden, we'll go ahead and add our chicken to it, and then maybe we can add some spices. We'll go ahead and taste it, add a little bit of pepper, and again, this is just to give it an extra flavor. I don't know if you've ever gone to a restaurant and bit into an enchilada or a chicken taco and you're kind of like, ooh, the chicken in there is not that tasty. This is never gonna happen with this recipe because this chicken is gonna be absolutely amazing. The sauce to complement it and then the chicken inside, it's gonna be fabulous. We'll go ahead and come back as soon as we get this going. Okay, so we've got our chicken ready. We've got our onions nice and caramelized. We'll go ahead and add the chicken. And then just to give it a little bit more flavor, we're gonna add a little bit of pepper in here. There we go. Maybe a half teaspoon of pepper, and then just a little bit of salt. Another half teaspoon of salt. And again, I'll go ahead and include these ingredients at the end of the video. And I hope you subscribe to my channel. It's my first video, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you continue to watch the rest of my videos. Okay, here we go. There it is. Okay, so if you're, look at your chicken, and if you feel that it may be just a little bit dry, what you can do is go ahead and add a little bit, maybe about a fourth a cup of that chicken stock that we had left over. Go ahead and add that, and that'll give it a little bit more of moisture in here. And again, a lot of flavor, because that stock has so much flavor from what we cooked the chicken in, and then we added the pepper and the garlic and all of that. So you can also go ahead and add a little bit of the stock into this chicken to make it a little bit juicier. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and fry up these tortillas. And then we'll go ahead and run a little line here with the chicken and the sauce, and we'll go ahead and plate it. So as soon as this is ready, we'll come right back. Okay, I've gone ahead and fried all of my tortillas up. I just wanted to give you a quick tip on how I'm doing these. I'm just giving them one quick fry on each side. I don't want them to be too crispy because they won't be pliable for me to fill them with the chicken and the sauce. So I want them to still have a little bit of wave to them. I don't want them to be too crunchy. So make sure that it's just a little bit on each side. And go ahead and turn that. And again, these tortillas are really good because they're the yellow tortillas. They're really sturdy, so they're gonna hold up when we add all our ingredients in there. So this is the last one. See how it's not too crunchy? It's perfect. We'll go ahead and finish that up, and what we're gonna do is turn off this stove. I've already have my oven at 350. I preheated it, it's ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and start assembling the enchiladas. So we've got our tortillas, we've got our green sauce here, which is our Swiss sauce, ready to go, delicious. And then I mentioned before, I went ahead and added a little bit of that chicken bouillon that was left over, the stock, maybe about half a cup into this chicken, so it's nice and juicy, as you can see, and flavorful, because we added all those really, really yummy spices. We'll go ahead and put these together. So this is how we're gonna go ahead and do it. I've got our cheese here ready to top all this off with. You don't have to put the cheese inside of the enchilada. I go ahead and put it on the top. You can if you want to. Okay, so we'll go ahead and grab one of these that is not too hot. We'll go ahead and put it into our sauce. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it into our plate. Okay, so we've got our chicken ready right here. We're gonna go ahead and take maybe about 2 tablespoonfuls of the chicken, and then we're gonna go ahead and roll this. go. Okay, so we dip it in the sauce. And we'll go ahead and put another spoonful of the filling. Here we go. And then fold this up. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up all these enchiladas. As soon as I finish these up, we'll come back, spread the cheese on them, and put them in the oven. We'll be right back. We've got all our enchiladas rolled up, so we're ready to go. The only thing that's left is just that there's a lot of this sauce left. So what I like to do, just because I don't want dry enchiladas, I like to spread whatever's left over on top of this. Because remember, this sauce is so good, you're gonna want tons of it over your enchiladas. So whatever you have left over, make sure that you go ahead and use it, just pouring it on top of your enchiladas. You can see the mushrooms in there and all the yummy stuff that we've gone ahead and added to the sauce. There we go. Make sure we've got everything covered really good. There we go. So, there we go. Okay, so the last part is of course our cheese. Go ahead and spread that on top. Make sure everything's covered. We want every single enchilada to be covered with the cheese. Okay, there we go. Doesn't that look yummy? Beautiful. So we'll go ahead and put this, again, I had my oven heated already to 350 degrees. We'll go ahead and put that in there. All we're doing is allowing for that cheese to melt and for everything to warm up and all the flavors to combine. And as soon as that's done, in about 10 minutes, we'll go ahead and come back and taste it. And just to make sure everything came out perfect, we'll be right back. Here we are at the finale of my first video. I'm super excited to show you the finished product. Our Enchiladas Suizas are piping hot. The cheese has melted. Let's go ahead and try a couple of these. Look how creamy this sauce is. Look at that. It's just absolutely delicious. Go ahead and try this. I want to cut this in half just so that you can see how juicy that chicken is in there with all the flavors. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. And of course you can accompany this dish with Mexican rice, with a little bit of salad. I'll go ahead and include those recipes later on my channel, but buen provecho. Absolutely delicious. You're gonna love it. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my recipe, and make sure you leave the suggestions under in the comment section. I want to hear from you. I want to know how you liked it, or if there's any other recipes that you want me to include in my next videos. Thank you so much, and enjoy.